welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcasts. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dallying a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about racism in America. I know, a topic that y'all really enjoy. And then we're going to be talking about college. That's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. I cannot call it. But I'm hurting this morning.
Yeah, let's do a sibling check-in. What's like? You're giving us quiet storm vibes, and which usually are a bit more lively.
Oh well, that's because I was up at 4 o'clock up until 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's abnormal for you.
Yes, the day started with me working, right? So I did work, and then my bestie, she conned me into having dinner.
Okay.
So it started with, she was like, hey, why don't you come over? We can watch this Vince McMahon documentary. Oh, by the way, I want to get into that. But she was like, let's watch this Vince McMahon documentary and we'll have snacks. I was like, okay, cool. She was like, do you have any idea what you want to eat? I was like, I don't know. I've been kind of clean, but I've been losing weight quicker than I thought I would. So I can have a really good cheat day. So whatever it is you want to prepare is cool with me.
Okay.
She was like, okay. And then she was like, I was thinking about making lasagna. I was like, okay. I mean, lasagna used to be one of my favorite dishes.
You used to love it. Yeah.
I mean, I do. I still love it. I just don't have it that often. But I was like, I thought it was supposed to be snacks. And she was like, we'll have a lasagna snack. And I was like, lasagna ain't snacks.
That's a full entree. That's a full course in and of itself.
When I get there, she's pulling out, she's got all these hors d'oeuvres and everything on the table, and she's made stuffed mushrooms as an appetizer.
Okay.
Then we have lasagna, all good, all slamming, by the way.
Yeah.
And then she made homemade ice cream and cut peaches and soaked the peaches in red wine and had peaches and ice cream. And I was like, what type of flavor is it? The ice cream. She says it's sweet cream. And I was like, you know what? You conned me into having a dinner. She was like, I did.
Yes. That was full courses. Yeah.
But it was a dope time. I had a really good time.
Okay.
Then I had another friend who's from LA, and we've been trying to go back and forth about when we can link up. And I was just like, all right, you'll be down the street. You'll be downtown from my city. I'll meet you out. But I didn't get there until like 11:30. And I was like, I'll just have a drink.
I'm already asleep.
Right. I was like, I want to go to bed. But I was like, okay, I'll have a drink. Mind you, I'm pretty sure that I've already consumed half a bottle of tequila.
Now, for everybody who's listening that doesn't understand Black vernacular, mind you, means the turn is coming, okay? The pivot, the plot twist is on the way. So go ahead.
So mind you, I'd already had a half a bottle of tequila, and then took a roadie on the way from my bestie's house to go be my homegirl down in my city, that's a little bit further down from the road for me.
Yeah.
And the roadie was a heavy pour.
Of course it was. Yeah.
I'm going to say that I had drank 65% of a fifth. Okay.
Ah, okay.
And then what was only supposed to be like one drink ended up being 3 more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I drank about 75% of a fifth.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot. Considerable for one night. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for one day.
The entire day. Correct.
The entire day.
Okay.
Because before I left the house to go to my besties, I poured me a little roadie. I had a drink and then poured me a little roadie.
Yeah.
So, maybe even more. Maybe I drank a whole bottle yesterday. I don't know. Close to it.
Goodness.
And then went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning after eating we went to this diner and I got a country fried steak sub.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, I love country fried steak, right?
Okay.
And normally you get country fried steak with, gravy and biscuits. So they just put it on a sub without the gravy, and it was actually delicious.
I think you were drunk.
Oh, I was beyond drunk. I was so drunk that I just said, I just need to drink water from here on out.
Yeah.
I don't need nothing else. No more alcohol.
Yeah, no more. Well, I am starting a new journey. Well, I'm testing it out. I'm testing it out.
Okay, what's that?
So, as you and our audience is aware, I am an avid gardener.
Wait a minute.
For relaxation.
Oh, okay. All right. Wait a minute. What? You're not a gardener for relaxation.
I enjoy working in my garden.
For relaxation.
For relaxation.
All right. Okay.
But I wonder, is it possibly interfering with my schoolwork, my gardening? My grades. So I'm gonna try to go sober next week. Yeah, the whole week.
When was the last time you've been sober?
Well,
when's the last time that you've been sober?
When's the last time New Edition performed with Bobby?
Yeah. I don't know, Jay. I don't know.
That's probably the last time.
Well, he says probably interfering with my schoolwork. Yeah, no, that would make sense.
No, I mean, it's just I have ADHD already. I'm medicated, so but still I feel like, let's just see if there's a difference in, my focus and ability to get things done. So you guys, let's see what kind of show you're going to get next week. I might be irritable as hell, and I might get on a soapbox depending on what we're talking about. Because Lord. I will be sober, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
So soberness causes anger. Is that what you're trying to
say? I think because it's just like part of my ritual in the evening, just coming down from my day.
Let's be honest.
And so not having that, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Let's be honest. It's not solely in the evening.
Oh, these days? No.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not solely in the evening.
But back when I was gainfully employed, it was obviously, I don't, I'm sober when I work. So, and for the show, except for the after hours. So you guys really got to check that out.
Yeah, got it. Once again, patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives, after hours uncensored, talking straight-ish, $5 a month for after hours uncensored, $5 a month for talking straight-ish, $9 a month for both shows. So go ahead and sign up. I really honestly don't know how this show is going to go today.
I don't know, because your energy, your battery is depleted. I'm going to have to carry this sucker, and I don't know if I'm equipped for that, because I was doing my homework right before the show.
Yo, let's put the honest
for the show.
Yeah, let's be honest to the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
Typically, I have a rundown of what we're going to be talking about in the show. The show is loosely structured. It's structured, but I leave some room for
our conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For our unsolicited perspective.
Exactly. I did not do a rundown for today. We have a loose idea of what we're going to do for this show.
Pretty loose.
You forgot about the show completely. And this does not make sense to me. We filmed the show the same. I texted you yesterday to ask you, what do you want to talk about?
And I wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, what do I have today? I want to go to the grocery store. I got to film the show. Like I'm running down my day in my head, and still, boy, that time blindness, it gets away from you. And I'm like, I have a show to film right now.
So if I didn't call you or text you, I don't know which one you saw first.
I
because
saw
you were
the
late.
text. I saw the text first.
Yeah, because normally you kind of a little late, and I was like, oh, you might be handling Roscoe or something like that.
Well,
But then
yes,
it got
also that,
past.
but yeah.
But then you got past that 5-minute mark where I didn't even hear from you. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, you ready? And then you didn't respond back. And I didn't even see Reed on there. And I was like, let me FaceTime. And I
And
was just waiting.
I was getting it together. But
He was
yeah,
getting it
no.
together.
It's time blindness. I completely lose track of time. Completely
Yeah.
lose track. But
So what is time like how does that happen? Explain
time
to people
blindness.
what time blindness is, those that don't understand it or don't know what it is.
So time blindness, essentially what it is I have a hard time distinguishing how long things should take. So I might think, oh, I got 5 minutes till I have to leave. I can jump in the shower and get dressed and make it. And then and by the time I've run down in my head what to do in that 5 minutes, 15 minutes have passed. So, and I'm like, well, damn. So you'll see people with time blindness are often late, have difficulty with time management, things like that. But it's, yeah, you don't, or you just think you have more time and you don't, or you think you don't have a lot of time, but you really do. Time is just, so one of the ways to combat it is I have clocks I have, not in every room, but I have clocks in most of the rooms that I'm in. So I can always glance up and see what time it is and realize, you late for this, or you forgot about this, or I did not, it did not happen for the show today. So I do apologize for that. But
wow, that must be complicated. Because me,
Yeah.
I'm very regimented.
Yeah.
Like I wake up in the morning and my whole day is mapped out by the half hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I need to do this at this particular time. And I hate it when even the slightest thing is thrown off that throws off my entire day.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But then again, you said I'm meticulous, and I never thought that I was that.
I was surprised that you looked shocked when I said you're meticulous.
Yeah, I never thought of myself as meticulous. That's just never been something I've ever thought about.
I think if somebody gives you a task, you're going to run down the list, make sure everything's checked off and the task is completed. Or you're going to find who you have to blame.
Wait a minute.
Men at them.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? I find people to blame.
Listen, if you couldn't get a task completed, it was not because of you. So you like, okay, somebody didn't pull their weight.
Well, was I wrong?
No, typically you were not wrong. I'm just telling you, this is what I have observed.
Wow.
Yeah, but you're pretty meticulous. That's why I like with the Airbnb when you all came and visited. I was like, I know you'll read that entire instructions list and you'll make sure that it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just never thought of myself like that. But it is before I do something, which is weird. You know why? Because I remember our dad used to get agitated with me anytime I was younger and I would buy a video game. I would never read the instruction manual. I would just jump into playing the game. Yeah. And he was like, don't you want to know how to play? I'll figure it out. But I guess something changed as I got older.
Yeah. I think it just because before, that's true. You would try to put something together. You wouldn't read the directions. But no, I think as you got older, you started getting more and more meticulous. And I was like, I bet you he read that instruction email several times. And I knew you did.
Okay. So I got to say something about that Airbnb. So before I left, because I wasn't the last one to leave, before I left the house, there was a specific way that they wanted the towels and the washcloths to be placed. They wanted it to be placed in the middle, in the upstairs, in the regular bathroom, but the regular hallway bathroom. They said put it in the pile on the floor in the regular hallway bathroom. Yeah. So I had gathered the towels that was downstairs in the basement bathroom. Okay. Because the people that were staying down there, they just left towels. So I was like, okay, let me gather these. Oh, you didn't take out the trash. Let me gather and take out the trash. Yeah. And then I told my goddaughter and our cousin before they left, hey, I've already put the towels right outside the bathroom because I know you guys are going to be using the bathroom. just put the towels and everything on the floor before you leave this bathroom.
Yes.
What? My goddaughter come after, because I had to do some work. Come after I finished work and said, yeah, I put all the towels and everything downstairs in the bathroom. I said, no. That's not what I said.
No.
I literally just put them in the hallway right outside the bathroom. So low key, I was real nervous about that.
I bet you that kept you up.
It did.
Yes, because of how meticulous you are.
So I later, after a couple of days, I asked you, and I was like, "Hey, have you heard it? Did you really do it?"
Yes, it was. I'm sure it was fine.
No, I mean, obviously it was fine because you haven't heard nothing.
No,
but that's the reason why I asked you. I was like, "Hey, have you heard anything about something cool?"
That's what I know. That's weighing on your spirit.
No, not once you said that you hadn't heard everything and everything.
But before that,
good.
You were just, there was dread surrounding the fact that the towels were in the wrong bathroom.
I was on the plane drinking, just biting my nails. And I was like, it's all because the instructions said, put them in the upstairs bathroom in the main hallway.
Yeah.
Leave them there.
That's what it said.
Put the towels right outside that bathroom. And before I left, I said, just put them in this bathroom.
Yeah.
I gathered them all right here. All you got to do is put them in there. And then we took them back downstairs. I didn't trip.
Yeah.
I didn't trip.
You tripped internally.
Internally? I was like, I can't believe you can't follow simple damn directions. It's just simple damn directions. I said, just put them in this bathroom. It's right outside the hallway. Okay, you're right. I am meticulous because I can't stand when people don't follow simple. It seems simple to me.
Yeah,
directions just seem simple. And you say somebody give you a task and you do everything on the task. Yes, I don't understand how that is meticulous. That's just completing the task.
But I think most people would read the email once, maybe skim it a second time. How many times did you read the instruction email?
I read it, I don't know, like twice the first time I opened it. Just
okay.
Well, just
twice the first time you opened it. Look, so you opened it multiple times. And each time perhaps read it multiple times?
I wouldn't say that maybe I've read it or skimmed through it 4 to 5 times.
That's
4 to 5, not 45. 4 to 5 times.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And
that's meticulous.
And I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything that I missed.
You don't think that happened like after the second or third time reading it?
Hey, sometimes I was drinking a lot that weekend. I was in a constant state of being drunk. So I was like, I would wake up, I work out, immediately start drinking, make me some dino nuggets and tater tots and drink.
Yes.
So I was drinking the entire time. Yeah. So I was like, when I'm drinking, I tend to forget things.
Okay.
Just checking to make sure. And then you had to reread it in the morning when you woke up before I left to make sure that I knew everything to do. And then read it one last time just to check off to make sure I did everything that I thought that needed to be taken care of.
Let me ask you a question. How many times do you hit the lock key fob when you're walking away from your car?
I don't have a car.
But you get what I'm saying. Do you go boop, 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 even though you locked it the first time?
Yeah. Oh, the worst is if I think I didn't do something. You know how many times, once again, because I've been drinking, you know how many times I've taken Benadryl at night a couple of times by accident because I forgot that I did it, but not sure that if I did it. So I'm like, well, I have to take my Benadryl. And then the next morning I wake up barely struggling.
Yes.
Because I took 3 Benadryls. I'm like, I almost OD'd on Benadryl.
Yeah. You got to get you a little pill box or something because that's not.
You can't have one. I never use it. I don't want to be that old.
I use mine. Look.
Well, that's because you got 50-11 pills. Okay.
True.
So that makes it.
Yeah, and I use that pill box because I got to know if I took my medicine already. You can't duplicate this stuff.
look, maybe I got an issue. Maybe I got a little bit of compulsive disorder or something like that. Because things have to be a certain way, and I have to do things a certain time. And I'm constantly washing my hands. Like maybe I have a disorder. I don't know.
It's called anxiety. Welcome to the club.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I got that. I got that in spades.
Yeah.
All right, my eyes starting to twitch, which is telling me it's time to switch to a new segment.
Let's still I don't think I can even say the show is going to go off the rails because it was never on it. But we're gonna just see what happens here.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But next up, we're gonna talk about racism in America. Hooray! Why did I say that? All right, time to get serious. You can't chuckle when I say it's time to get serious. But it's time to get serious because these things we're about to talk about is no laughing matter if I can get the words out.
Right.
So I already talked about this on the Friday show that was released, but I wanted to get your perspective on it. So the first thing is Clay Higgins. Clay Higgins, a Republican for the House of Representatives from the state of Louisiana, posted something on Twitter this week. X. I'm gonna say this is X because I said Twitter is no longer Twitter. X is now the white supremacist social media platform.
Yes.
Yeah. So he said, "LOL, these Haitians are wild, eating pets, voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere, cults, slapstick gangsters, but damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of our country before January 20th. He even doubled down on CNN right after this, saying that what he said was true and he didn't regret anything. Blatant, straight out racist comment. But I already said what I had to say about it on the previous show. Jay, what did you think about all of this?
Yeah, so his tweet, or what do you call it now that it's X?
Yeah, I don't know what you say now.
I think they're still called tweets. But anyway, it came on the heels of the national nonprofit organization called Haitian Bridge Alliance announcing that they are seeking criminal charges against former President Donald Trump and Ohio Senator. I mean, you literally, Springfield's the town you represent, J.D. Vance, accusing them of making false alarms, aggravated menace, and telecommunications harassment. So it is coming on the heels of that. And his tweet was giving very much like minstrel, these highfalutin Negroes, like it was given that, like it was even written like that. Like, what is a slapstick gangster? Like, what is that even? What?
I don't even know. I don't know what a slapstick gangster is.
I don't know. Like,
is that a gangster that's funny?
I have no idea. Like, is that
50 Cent?
It gives me like the Three Stooges pretending to be gangsters.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just like wondering what era this man is from. Like, obviously this level of racism, he's from, something like pre-civil rights movement era. But
he's older. I would say that he's probably he's got gray hair. So he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, he's 63. No,
okay,
I mean, his thinking.
Yes.
And if you look at him, he looks like he speaks this way.
No, he.
I just had to pull a picture up, and I said, "Yep, that tracks." But be damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now. Like, it's like, I'm gonna be honest. I was so confused by the tweet that I couldn't even register like getting angry at the racism, because I'm just wondering, like, who wrote this? Like, who?
You're supposed to be serious and you cracking jokes because you just so off the wall crazy.
It's not even good. Oh, you slapstick gangsters, you like, it's not even good racism. Like, it's not even. Does that make sense? Like, I couldn't get I was so confused by it, I couldn't get past the confusion to get upset about the racism.
You yearn for the days where racist was real racist, and they
Right.
knew exactly what they wanted to say and how they wanted to say it.
Right. Like, this guy is like, what?
He called them the
Oh,
nastiest country in
what?
the Western Hemisphere.
Now you're so sophisticated. Like, what?
And they keep spreading this evil lie about eating pets. Like, they keep, even though it's been disproven. The
Like,
person that originally
over and
said
over
it,
again, it's been
Yes.
disproven.
the person that originally claimed that this happened to them, found their cat in the basement a couple of days later. It was like, oh yeah, I found my cat in the basement. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But the fact that first of all, let's unpack the fact that she immediately blamed her Haitian neighbors for taking her cat that was just in the basement. That cat was running from you.
Probably.
And we see why.
Crazy.
Did you read the part where he doubled down on it?
I know he kind of doubled down on it in CNN, but I didn't read it. I read blurbs say he doubled down.
He said, quote, I can put up another controversial post tomorrow if you want me to. I mean, we do have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom from consequences. I'm going to tell you that. That's my own insert. Clay Higgins did not say that. That's me speaking. That's Jonna right now. You do not have freedom from consequences, sir. And you, sir? Okay.
What consequences are you going to face?
Consequences and repercussions.
What consequences or repercussions?
In real life or in my mind? In real life, none. Because he goes on to say, I'll say what I want. It's not a big deal to me. It's like something stuck on the bottom of my boot. Just scrape it off and move on with my life.
Yeah. See, this is once again the reason why I wish I had that superpower.
That insane superpower, which, again, I have a lot of issues with, but continue.
Yeah, if I had my superpower, my glow hands, I could smack him in the face and smack some sense into him. I mean, that's what he needs. People that feel so emboldened to say these derogatory and disgusting things, you know what they just honestly need is a good open hand slap to the face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sometimes that people say violence doesn't solve anything. The hell it doesn't. Violence solves a lot of things. A lot of the time.
Yeah. That's like the people who say money don't buy happiness. You ever had some?
You've ever had some?
Let me tell you. How happy do you get when you find $5 in your pocket you didn't know you had?
How happy do I get? I hate opening up the app, my banking app, to check my account and just be like, I know it's not going to be what I think it's going to be. Because sometimes you think you have more money than you do. When you check your account, like, where'd it go? What happened? But on the rare occasions, you check your account and you got more money than you thought you did.
Right.
And you like, oh, I'm feeling good. Most of the time,
you choose to ignore the fact that there is a bill pending out there. Right? That's going to come out your account in about 2 to 3 days. Don't you go spending that money. That's for something.
Every time I go spending that money and be like, damn it, I forget about that. Why do I have so many bills? All right, look, we detouring. We talking about Clay Higgins and my glow hands. So I need to be able to smack people. And he needs a good smacking.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Is anything going to happen to him? No. And the very documented, very much here legally Haitian community in Springfield is suffering the consequences. Honestly, the community at large in Springfield is suffering the consequences of these lies.
Yeah.
They're lies.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I've constantly said it, and I was hanging out with people, and I got on my soapbox yesterday, and my friend from LA was like, what are you doing tomorrow for the games? And I was like, I'm going to watch the games. They're going to be on, but you know, I don't really like pay attention to sports anymore. She was like, well, what are you really into? The world and everything that's going on. She was like, yeah, I could tell from a lot of the conversations that we're having. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be on my soapbox, but I feel like kind of like the task situation, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't comprehend when you get a task while you don't go down the list and complete everything that's a part of that task. I can't understand that. So I can't understand how people aren't aware of what's going on, how common sense doesn't tell you, well, this doesn't sound right and that doesn't sound right. This sounds more plausible and that sounds like I can't understand it.
Yeah.
So, but that's a blind spot that I have where like I can't understand how people don't understand what I think is just simple.
Right.
And you know what I mean? To me, it's just like, this is just simple. This isn't really that complicated. This is 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
Well, does it equal 4? Yeah, always has.
Yeah.
So when somebody says this racist stuff, well, is it racist? Like, yeah, it's pretty racist. What about it do you think is not racist?
Right. But what is the consequence for that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And that's and so these people like that are emboldened. And that's the reason why I want to have my glow hands to be able to go around smacking stupid people.
Yeah. I mean, I get that you are talking about things that are like pretty clear, like racism, you're talking about sexism, like that. But when you're looking for confirmation of your own biases, it's easy to reject the truth, even though it's right in front of you. So, and then people get into, I mean, one of the biggest problems with the internet are the echo chambers. And so your algorithm pushing all of the things that you already would typically click on, and it's now feeding that to you over and over again. And so you end up in this echo chamber. And so then you think, well, he's done such and such for Louisiana. Not that I know that Clay Higgins has done anything for anybody but himself, but you can overlook the BS because that's not even, a lot of times that's not even registering in your echo chamber.
Do you have, because I know your echo chamber. I know your echo chamber. Do you, because mine is not quite as similar, but damn close.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself when you're on social media and you're being bombarded by things that are confirming what you believe? Do you ever stop yourself and be like, wait a minute, hold up. This is boosting my ego a little too much.
Yeah, I'm
Let me
fully
step out of
aware
this.
that my algorithm is set up to confirm all of my biases. I'm 100% aware of that. And to the point where I get fatigue because I'm constantly seeing all of the issues that I care about over and over and over again. And so you can get a little bit of fatigue. So I know that sometimes I have to just turn it off and step away for a little while. So people might want to consider that especially when you start going down these rabbit holes and it's starting to affect your relationships, like your beliefs are starting to affect your relationships with your friends and your family. Like, start to think about, okay, why am I fighting so hard for this one thing or for this one candidate to the detriment of the relationships around me?
Well, because I say sometimes people can agree to disagree if it's trivial.
Yeah.
But you can't agree to disagree
We can agree to disagree on pizza toppings, not on whether or not I should have bodily autonomy.
See, and so that's where I think people are getting this disagreement. And typically from my conversations of people who want to distance themselves from racist rhetoric from particular candidates and say, well, I just vote along certain issues.
Yeah.
And I say certain issues that are important to me. And then I say to them, are your issues so important to you that you would make it detrimental to somebody else? And the example that I give is, okay, say you're walking down the street.
But the answer is yes.
Well, okay, so I give them a scenario. Okay, say you're walking down the street and you see somebody, a woman, getting ready to be attacked, right? Do you walk past or do you say something? Almost everybody says, well, I would say something or do something. Okay. Now in this scenario, same situation, you're walking past a woman, you're seeing a woman about to be attacked, but you're late to work. You've already been written up several times. If you're late again, you'll be fired. What do you do then? And then everybody has to stop and think. And so this is the scenario that I'm trying to give people. Like, that's essentially what you're doing in this political race. If you're saying, well, the economy is important, well, one, you don't understand the economy, right? That's first and foremost. You don't understand what the hell is going on.
The tariffs, guys, they're inflationary. So
people don't understand.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
People don't understand the economy.
So. Yeah.
And the next time somebody says, inflation is high, absolutely right. Economy is good.
Global inflation is up. It's not just ours. There was a pandemic.
Right. So like when I give people that scenario, this correlates. You're saying something about the economy, and the economy is important. Your job is important in that scenario. But how would you feel in your heart if you ignore that person? You read later that she was killed and you could have helped, but you didn't want to lose your job in the process.
I think it's not the same, and I'll tell you why. Because that person is being attacked right in front of them.
No, they're walking. They're walking. They see it in the distance.
But you see it.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah,
it's a part of your physical reality. Whereas when people just get in that voting booth, or women like me or people of color, like we're not in their physical reality. And it's much easier to ignore something that's not directly impacting you as like, I'm seeing it in front of me. I know my job is important, but I'm seeing this right in front of me and I have to make a split set, as opposed to I'm in the voting booth. Those people don't exist to me right now. Right. I can vote the way I want. Yeah.
But that's the reason why I give that scenario, because they're blinded to the fact of how easily them not trying to focus in on the entire picture and this one thing that they could be harming people. And that's the reason why I give them that scenario, because they can't see it. Because they go into that voting booth and they're just in that one issue. And so I said, this isn't an agree to disagree situation. People are Springfield, Ohio has far-right white supremacist groups marching in that city right now.
Yeah. They've been on several lockdowns due to bomb threats.
Schools. So kids can't get to school, can't go to school because of these threats. This is a real issue. And it's all built on a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
J.D. Vance said, if I have to create a story, I will. And that's exactly what he made it up. He knew it was made up. Because I'm positive someone in their campaign was like, that meme or whatever, that police report, it's not real or something. And he chose to go with it anyway. And of course, Trump regurgitates whatever he hears.
Yeah.
And in front of how many millions of people tuned in to the debate? It's either 16 or 60. I can't remember how many.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but
16 or 60
sound very similar.
They do. They do sound
similar. It was
similar.
A lot of millions of people who tuned into that debate.
Okay, there you go.
And he went on and incredulously spread a lie, harmed people and put people in harm's way. As Clay Higgins is concerned, looks like the type of person who says stuff like this a lot. Looks like he's not going to stop. So I'm not going to pay him much attention. Okay. It's on Louisianians too, or however you say that.
All right now, Haitian. Don't be like J.D. Vance creating a whole other, he said Haitian. Don't be like J.D. a whole other group of people.
It's just such a joke. The entire campaign was such a joke. But
And they can win
it's up
too.
to y'all to get this person out. But
We'll see.
chances are probably not gonna, because he's in an area of Louisiana that is fine with whatever he's talking about.
And there's a real world consequence to people spreading these racist lies about groups of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's a prime example of it. Once again, this is something I talked about, and I want to get your perspective on it. Mm-hmm. A student has left Gettysburg College after a racial slur was carved in to his swimming teammate. So white guy, black guy at a party, swimming, they're both part of swim teams. Supposedly the article said that they were friends. Carved the N-word, white guy carved the N-word into the black guy's chest at Gettysburg College. This happened. What's crazy is it happened earlier this month and it just hit the news wire like this week.
Yeah.
So when people say this racist political rhetoric doesn't really have, consequences, doesn't affect anything. Here's a prime example of somebody literally, this isn't like Clay Higgins preaching 1960s racism.
Yeah.
This is 1700 brutal slavery type of action. You gonna carve the N-word into my chest and when we say a box cutter?
Yeah, a box cutter. Like, I wanted to be clear. Like, when we say carved, he used a box cutter.
A box cutter. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because, racism in America. Whew.
Yeah, it's ugly. The fact that this story, I think, is just not getting as much media attention is really disgusting, but also telling. Yeah, it's ugly out here. I mean, I really don't know. I feel like every news cycle, there's a story of how somebody black in this country is being brutalized in some way.
I would say not even just black. Anybody of color.
Yeah.
Anybody of color or women.
Yeah. But there's, I obviously I agree with that, but there's a particular heinousness to anti-black racism in this country. I mean, we just had the execution of Marcellus Williams. I don't know if you ever read about that, but
I saw it and I was just like, this is so wrong to say. But this unsolicited, it's one of those words I was just trying to say. It's Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. So I'm just giving y'all the raw real. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Man that everybody tried to save.
Yeah.
That said, it seems like he could be innocent.
Yeah.
Let's do a stay of execution.
There's definitely a reasonable doubt.
Yeah. Let's do a stay of execution. And white people in power said, nah, we're going to kill this black man. I mean, it wasn't something that I was surprised about. And I saw this outpouring of support, but I remember Tookie Williams, right? It got executed. And so I was like, and it was the same type of outpouring. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm not saying, it's almost gotten to the point where I'm desensitized to this.
Yeah, there's a level of just not desensitized because it hurts every time, but like there's cynicism about it.
Well, it's a callous. There's a callous that's developed. Yeah, there's a callous that's developed.
Yeah.
Like when we got whoopings back in the day, or like if you had you bruised your leg or something like that, right? Like maybe you keep hitting your leg or doing something. It gets to a point where that skin gets so hardened that the first time you hit it was very painful, but repeatedly it gets hardened to the point where it's not as painful as it used to be. Each time it gets less and less painful. So I'm not saying it isn't painful. It's just there's this callous.
Yeah.
Now it's like even the Gettysburg College thing. I should be way more outraged than I actually am. because it's just so absurd.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, yo, if you're a historian and you know what people used to do, they used to have lynchings in our parents' lifetime, right? And they used to have parties, and kids used to be out there. Like,
Yeah.
think about the inhumane way that you must look at a person to hang them,
Yeah.
kill them, have a party, pictures, everybody smiling, and kids be there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
To
there's a
pack a
callous.
picnic for it.
Yeah, look, I'm cold-hearted in a lot of ways, but I couldn't eat seeing somebody getting killed,
No.
and like just the nature of something like that. We wouldn't even do that to animals.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't do that to animals. When we slaughter pigs and all that stuff, we don't kill them alive. Kill them alive. That made no sense. We don't like cut them up alive.
We're gonna cut that out.
No, I'm gonna leave that one in because
no. I think we should take that out.
No.
I think we should.
I'm gonna leave
Don't
that in.
They don't kill them. Oh,
I told you I was I told you.
completely derail a very serious point, but because we're assholes, we're gonna laugh about this for a couple seconds, y'all. Sorry.
Kill them alive.
They
I
don't
don't
kill
like
them
Trump.
alive. They kill them
Look.
dead.
They kill them alive like they've never killed anybody alive ever before in life. Okay, this
They kill them alive.
what I meant to say, we don't butcher animals alive. We put them down first and then butcher them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
We weren't like, they're not doing that. They're
No.
literally hanging people
Yeah.
and butchering them. Because
Yes.
remember, a lot of times they would castrate
Yes.
these men that they hung.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I've developed a callus. So they killed another black man with their execution. Yeah, it's been happening in this country since its foundation.
Yeah.
I'm sad for it. So I didn't even research the story.
Yeah. It's a travesty. I mean, honestly, yeah, I agree with you that there's a callous there. Also, things like Clay Higgins is just not frightening. There are real consequences
Mm-hmm.
to it, but I think, like, when I read the tweet, I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever like. If that was supposed to be intimidating, you missed the mark. But really, it wasn't for us. It was for people who agree with him and who are willing to call in bomb threats and things on their behalf. So it's always concerning and frankly frightening from that perspective. But like, taking it on his face, like, do I feel personally offended by his tweet? It was so dumb, I couldn't even get to that point.
Okay, I can dig it.
It was so dumb, I couldn't even get to that point. The incident at Gettysburg College is enraging, though, however, because
we should be even more enraged. Like, I don't feel like we have the proper enraged level.
Yeah.
As a country. I don't think that we have that.
Well, that was the brilliance of the civil rights movement, right? To have it be televised. So you see the brutality televised.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now it's in your living room. And so the fact that this story has not gotten national attention. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the motive behind that? Well, you don't want people to have to confront. Yeah, you'll put Clay Higgins on MSNBC and all of that, but you don't want people to actually confront the true brutality of racism.
That's real. That's real. Well, speaking of college, moving off this Gettysburg College thing.
Yeah.
And the killing them alive. let's go to.
They don't kill them alive.
They don't.
They do not do.
We're gonna talk about us. and what we learned in college.
Yeah.
Next. Jay, I had an interesting conversation last night with my friend when we were drinking, and the very much tequilas that I had. She went to UCLA. Of course, you and I both got our degrees from the University of Maryland. She's from here, the DMV area. And she now works in California near the San Fernando Valley. She says it's very much Trump country. And she says that a lot of people feel like colleges are these liberal kind of havens, which I'm not going to say that it isn't, but that going to college turns you into this liberal, and that's now a bad thing. Like going to college is now a bad thing. She talked about one of her customers who a few years ago, 5, 10, 15 years ago, was so excited about his children being smart and go to good colleges. Now he doesn't want them to go to college at all because he doesn't want them to become liberal.
Right.
And I was thinking to myself, well, okay, what's the correlation? Why are so many college campuses and towns? Like when I went to go visit Raleigh, North Carolina, you're surrounded by Trump country, but Raleigh, North Carolina, because it's a college town, tends to be liberal. So why is that? And I came to the realization that when you get more information and you learn about stuff and you're out of your bubble and you're around people from different walks of life in different areas, you develop a mentality that's a little bit more inclusive. A little bit more. You can still segregate yourself in college.
For sure. Yes.
But you're forced to be in classes with people that you didn't grow up with, that weren't from your hometown. They don't have the same values of you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they differ in a little bit, but you learn about people. I think the fascinating thing about us is the fact that we lived in Lynchburg, Virginia for so long.
Yes.
And then we moved to the DC area. And that was a complete shell shock because it was a complete culture change.
Shock. Yeah, culture shock for sure.
And we got introduced to so much, and we were like, I kind of like this. Everything was literally black and white in Lynchburg, and there's all this color when you move to DC, both literally and figuratively. There's just this color, and it's wide eyes, the possibilities of just new people and learning new things. So yes, when you kind of learn, and then you learn to critically think in college, because you don't learn to critically think in high school or middle school. You're regurgitating facts that's being given to you. But in college, you have to read, comprehend, and critically think. These are skills that you learn in college.
Yeah.
And when people do those type of things, they become a little bit more open to new possibilities. So I just thought that was, interesting as me and her were just talking about that. And I was like, yeah. But
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. That is what college does. But you also have to understand there's another layer to it.
Okay.
And that's media influence. Conservative media and right-wing media also lambasts college educations or college campuses, universities as being these bastion of liberalism, right? They're also promoting that idea because why? Trump doesn't get as many college educated votes.
No. And what's crazy is these commentators, what do they all have?
Ivy League degrees, a lot of them.
Yes. That's what's crazy.
JD Grants. Did Trump go to Ivy League? I know he went to Wharton.
Yeah. I mean, Wharton is Ivy League.
Yeah. So Ivy League degrees. If you want to talk about coastal elite, it's an Ivy League degree. Now we went to a public Ivy. Those exist, people. And
is that what you want to call the University of Maryland?
No, it really is that.
The University of Maryland is a public Ivy school?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I didn't think that was a real thing.
No, it is a real thing. I did not know it was a real thing either until I looked it up. It very much is.
Okay, now what constitutes a public Ivy?
Well, let's look it up.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment we call Learning.
For we Google things.
We Google things and we learn. This is literally something that we would do if we weren't filming the show. We Google a lot. Google is our best friend.
Yes, so the term public Ivies was coined in 1985, and it refers to public U.S. universities that offer an Ivy League-like educational experience.
Wow. I mean, I knew Maryland was tough to get into. And the president at the University of Maryland, when I was going there, I don't know if he was still the president when you were going there. Mm-hmm. He came from California, and he specifically said he wanted to make, I think he came from Cal, and he wanted to make Maryland the Cal Berkeley of the East Coast. And so they kept raising the standards to get into school to the point where it was like, dumb people who used to go to Maryland couldn't go to Maryland anymore. And that's also when you stop seeing people riding on campus, because these nerds that was coming into the University of Maryland didn't want to have no fun. I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, I just Googled it, and Google has their lovely new AI feature that gives you the answer right there. It is UMD is not officially considered a public Ivy, but it is a public research university with a high quality education and strong academic reputation. So I just corrected myself on air, but whatever. We went to a really great school, and everybody shut up.
Really great school, and we got a good education, and we learned how to research.
But keeping a certain segment of the population uneducated, I mean, that's the base. That's the base. So it's
and when we say uneducated, that doesn't mean not smart. Uneducated is not inherently a negative term.
No, uneducated, I'm just saying
your education stopped at high school.
Yeah.
You didn't go to college.
You didn't go to college.
What do they call it? Second level education or higher education?
Higher education,
Don't they call it secondary education as well, though? Like when you fill out an application, they say, okay, maybe not. I'm tripping.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Public school education, ladies and gentlemen, right here. We found dumb as hell.
No, what found dumb as hell is killing them alive.
Yeah, that's funny. Wow, this has been a great show.
I don't know. It was been different. We laughed a lot.
But yeah, I don't think college is for everybody. I'm 100%. And that's somebody who's currently a student telling I don't think it's for everybody. To me, there's nothing wrong with not having higher education, because it's not for everybody. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I do feel like everybody should at least go for a semester or a year, go away, get out of your town and go to a place. Even if it's a trade school that's a distance away. Is DeVry got main universities? Is DeVry still a thing?
DeVry is not a thing. It is not. It is.
I used to be serious about success.
Long defunct. No, I think people should never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your craft or your trade or whatever, I think people should never stop learning. I don't think you should ever stop wanting to improve your mind, and that's however you do it. If that's, working with your hands, if it's making sure you read the paper every morning, staying up on current events or reading nonfiction, but whatever it is, I don't care. I think you should always be continuously learning. But is college for everybody? No, I didn't want to go. To be honest, I didn't. I did not want to go. It was a requirement, though. In our house,
but it wasn't though. It was never a requirement.
I felt like we were told we had to go, and maybe it was a quiet requirement, but there was nothing explicitly said you have to go. It was just kind of expected. Yes, that's why I say it was expected.
It was expected.
But I did learn a lot about myself. It did help shape a lot of my political beliefs and my views on society, because I was just
Did it help
exposed to
shape your
things.
political beliefs or your social beliefs?
It helped shape
That
my political beliefs because
Okay.
before college, I was not invested in, I mean, I couldn't vote before college. So I was
Yeah,
not invested in politics whatsoever. It wasn't until I believe I took a journalism course.
that'll do it.
That'll do it. And I started learning more um, about social systems and then how they intersect and work simultaneously with political systems and how the whole thing is intertwined.
hmm
The education, our economy, our social structures, the politics, the judiciary, like everything is all intertwined. That's where I learned that. What?
Let me tell you a funny story. My freshman year at the University of Maryland, they were having a meet and greet at the Black Student Union to welcome all the new Black students.
Okay.
And I didn't have a big. Normally, you're like assigned a big.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a big.
Okay.
Because when I entered in college, it was kind of late and my whole housing was messed up and they put me all in the upperclassmen housing, which I'm thankful for. So everything was just so I went to the Black Student Union and they were like, who's your big? And I was like, I don't know. And then I kind of got adopted by people, which was actually super dope.
Yeah.
But you're with all these, you're all in college together,
Yeah.
but you're starting at the bottom again.
Yeah.
And there's a dramatic difference. Like when you enter into high school, you just came from middle school, you were still doing kid stuff and you're in a school with people who are getting ready to go to college, who are adults. And there's this kind of like eye-opening experience to how much further I got to go as a person for growth.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the Black Student Union and I feel like I'm pretty versed in things and life and what it is.
Yeah.
And they start talking about like social systems or social issues and things like that. And then they come to me and they're like, so what do you think about that? And I was like, I don't really understand what y'all are talking about. Like y'all was saying a lot of words and I know those individual words, but the way y'all put them together, I'm not really comprehending. And I was trying to BS my way in. And this one brother, I can't remember his name. He had glasses, or he didn't look like Dwayne Wayne, but almost. And he was like, "You don't know what you're talking about, do you?" And I was like, "What you mean?" You're like, "This brother don't know what he's talking about over here, brother. You need to open your eyes." I was like,
"There's always somebody." People wonder, like, where does woke come from? Because there was always somebody that will come to you and be like, "You need to open your eyes. You need to wake up." You know, there was wake up. Somebody that
read this book.
If you Black, somebody has told you to either wake up or open your eyes before.
You ain't read this book. Here's some authors for you to read, but I got
my own. Marcus Garvey.
But here's some books to read, but I got some other books I got to read for classes I got to take. You want me to do extra reading just to learn stuff that I'm not going to be tested on? Yes. You need to open your eyes.
You need to open your eyes.
See what's going on around you. Look at what's going on around you.
I'll tell you the moment that I realized that that college was a different place from the childishness of high school, right?
Yeah.
So it was our senior year of high school and we were touring colleges and we went to Howard. And we had toured the school and we were eating lunch in there in the cafeteria, Blackburn. I don't know if y'all remember, if anybody, some Howard students out there listening. So we were eating lunch in Blackburn and my purse came off the chair. And there was a bunch of, college students in there eating lunch. It was lunchtime. And the gentleman who was sitting behind me, he was a college student. He turned around and said, "Excuse me, sweetheart, you dropped your purse." And I said, "The boys at school don't talk like that." And that's how I realized college is gonna be different.
You know what?
College is going to be real different.
That's a great way to end this crazy, chaotic episode.
This was pure chaos, and I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Because
this
I don't
takes
even
us
know
back-
what we talked about. I don't know what was said.
Well, we said some things. We said some things.
Will all of it make it in? Probably.
Yes. I'm
Because
not going to cut
you
it
don't
out.
like to do any editing.
That's not true. I
You gonna keep
don't.
it.
Yes,
Kill
kill
them
them alive. Yes,
Okay.
because people need to understand that even though I be on my high horse preaching to them all the time, I say idiotic things sometimes too.
Yes.
People need to hear that. That's real. That's raw. That's who I am. You know this because
It's
I
real.
say stupid
Yes.
stuff like that all the time.
All the time.
They don't know this.
We both are at that. We both said Rick is scratch.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.